Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I have a hairnet thing underneath because I'm doing henna, Henna, on my hair. It's dye. And it's ends up more like a pudding. It's a natural dye, so supposedly from India. And you have to set it for several hours. And you put the pudding on your head, and then you put like a, why am I forgetting? Like a cap. And then that's why it's looking a little, okay. But I did a video today, and if I can stay focused, so we're going to pray to the Lord. Stay focused. It is Psalm 112. I did not post the video. The blessings of those who fear God. Praise ye the Lord. Blessed is the man that fears the Lord, that delights greatly in his commandments. Ecclesiastes 12:13. An awe-filled reverence toward the Lord. His seed shall be mighty upon the earth. The generation of the upright shall be blessed. Wealth and riches shall be in his house, and his righteousness endures forever. Unto the upright there ariseth light in the darkness. He is gracious and full of compassion, and righteous. A good man shows favor, and lends. He will guide his affairs with discretion. Surely he shall not be moved forever. The righteous shall be in everlasting remembrance. He shall not be afraid of evil tidings. His heart is fixed, trusting in the Lord. His heart is established. He shall not be afraid until he see his desire upon his enemies. He has dispersed, he has given to the poor. His righteousness endures forever. His horn shall be exalted with honor. The wicked shall see it and be grieved. He shall gnash with his teeth and melt away. The desire of the wicked shall perish. And that is why so many of us feel urgency to share the good news of Jesus Christ, is because of those very last lines. And for those of us coming from darker places, we very much know that anguish, because we are left with that part for the rest of our lives of making poor choices. And we always keep that with us to some degree. Probably for some, for fear of going back, or for fear of making a mistake. The other one, and I'm going to try not to get into this person says this and that person says that, and that this book is only for this time and it's not for this other time. I can't do it. Look, I got 1140 of Daniel, and then I got 40 all the way down to the finish. And I'm assuming just say chapter 11. I'm going to read from 40 down, and then I want to get out of here. Because I actually have a testimony that we invited an atheist to dinner with us at home. And actually it was quite a sad affair. And, yeah, I mean, the minute he hit the door, he just took off just on me. About the court thing, but yet he had a lot of the court thing confused, so I'm taking into account the age discretion. But it seemed more like accusatory, but yet he was okay before, and then it seemed like he was just scared, and then I didn't know. But then there was this other stuff too, very negative about our home. He said I made him wait 10 minutes or something. What did I tell my husband? 5 to 10 minutes. And my husband said, oh really, well we have cameras now, so let's just see how long this 5 or 10 minutes is. It was approximately 3 minutes, but I was putting the dogs up, and I had asked him 3 times in a week. This is an old friend of ours, or mostly mine. He's an older man. Not older, but like It doesn't matter. He's seen a lot, but he's not like ancient. He can kick out a good 20 if he plays it right. If he stays off the sauce and that different stuff, he probably can make it to 90. So I just said it. 20 years. Oh, that was so vague. It was just weird, disrespectful to our home, yelling at me for quite a while. I'm upstanding, closing my eyes, trying to defend myself. John finally gets home because he was late with the water, and there was just some like offhand comment like, well, there's water over at this one spot, like much closer, and it was just a lot of disrespect. So eventually John went back out. We fed him dinner. I made a home-cooked meal and a home-cooked dessert, and we suffered through it, and then I found myself pretty much praying very deeply inside myself and finally just kind of going along with the guy. And I'm not proud of myself. And then I just started to stand in my own living room and ask him to leave. Because in my heart of hearts, the Lord said he was so gone to the dark side of the moon with his atheism and hating Jesus. When I knew him years before, he never would just get personal, like about Jesus, like to this degree. This was something I had never maybe it was always there and he just didn't show it before, but I had known him like a really long time. And I've known him 25 years, but say there was a 10-year period where I think both of us had our own little kind of thing going on with some situations with our activism, but it's a really long pause. Can I do that too? Weird pauses. So, needless to say, I pretty much just like stood up and in the middle of the living room and just kind of like, are you going now? Without saying it. So, Daniel, and what I was getting from this is that this is something that could be promising that, hey, maybe it's not final, or is it final? Some say there's not a final, we just continue on the earth, and we go to heaven, and heaven is where we reign. What I was getting from this, but I would never stand on it like, super strong, is the reminder that in many instances he does spare. But the main concern came to the part where it really stood out, where it said, even though, and then we'll read it so it makes more sense, hopefully. Even though but tidings out of the east, this is 44 of Daniel 11, and out of the north shall trouble him. But if I don't know the text of it, then I could really mess this up. Therefore he shall go forth with great fury to destroy and utterly to make away many. And he shall plant the tabernacles of his palace between the seas in the glorious holy mountain, yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him. Prophecy of the great time of trouble. And 10:27:19 I had marked next to verse 36, 37, 38. Part of that is, neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of women, nor regard any God, for he shall magnify himself above all. And we fully got that picture tonight, which was he believes in the God mind. You don't need Jesus. You were told that story because you are God. You're a God. And that's when I proceeded to just stand in the middle, and we really didn't know the best way to handle it. So John was not there when I was being screamed at, and I said, this is something I always find interesting about this dynamic, is they don't do it when you're right in the room. No. So how long did I make this old man wait? 3.5 minutes, and he was actually supposed to stay in his car by the road, so I would come and meet him in his car, keep his car running, and then I would come and help him so that I had the dogs secured. But instead, he was outside of his vehicle. It could have ended up really dangerous. So I'm going to say that some of the faculties are going, and then mixed in with the atheism, it's like a really sad affair. It's more sad. It's more sad. So verse 40, and at the time of the end. So that should give you encouragement to find Jesus, because even if you're a little bit wound up strange, maybe Jesus can kind of soften the corners of it a little bit. Not make it so bad. And at the time of the end shall the king of the south push at him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind with chariots, and with horsemen, and with many ships. And he shall enter into the countries, and shall overflow and pass over. Or is this judgment? The whirlwind part really stuck out to me, and the chariots, not just for visuality, but this whirlwind thing. Verse 44, and he shall enter also into the glorious land, and many countries shall be overthrown, but these shall escape out of his hand, even Edom and Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon. And I know this was in another part of the world, so it would upset people for me to even be doing this. And he shall stretch, but I say it's just an open thought. He shall stretch forth, and I did feel like I got this. He shall stretch forth his hand upon the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape. But he shall have power over the treasures of gold and of silver, and that's what threw me. The treasures of gold and of silver, and over all the precious things of Egypt and of the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps. But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall go forth with great fury to destroy, and utterly to make away many. And he shall plant the tabernacles of his palace between the seas and the glorious holy mountain. Yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him. There wasn't much in the Matthew Henry Bible about it, unless I'm not learning how to use it yet. Because I think it's the main chunk of that is in the prior verses and the verses following it. Going after it, yes. And that maybe it is just chapter 11. Whirlwind. Here seems to be another expedition into Egypt. Ptolemy, Ptolemy, king of the south, pushes at him, makes an attempt upon some of his territories, where upon Antiochus, the king of the north, comes against him like a whirlwind with incredible swiftness and fury, with chariots and horses and many ships and great force. Escape out of his hand. Some shall escape his fury, particularly Edom and Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon, but the land of Egypt shall not escape. He shall have power over the treasures of gold and silver and all the precious things of Egypt. So I think what I got, but we're not supposed to do this, I guess, is some groups say you can't. So Canada is fully destroyed. Their government just from within. I don't know how God's going to land it here. And all the way to the east, or would it be just fully internal? So the northeast of our country, because of the heavy population of whatever that we're, or is it the north of us and the, because these were the things that were sticking out. Something with the whirlwind, and I was seeing it more in relation to severe winds and weather with grid damages. And then I got that it would be north of Canada, we would see a full collapse of Canada. And then all the way to the east, that he was just going to let across the ocean just completely get annihilated. Or the East Coast has a really big storm coming in, and we're all going to be, like, feeling it. So, 1 degree or another, we're going to be feeling it. From the ocean front on the east. And that's all I have. And I was able to do that in 15 minutes, see? So I stopped with that mid because I want to see if anyone else gets something. Because there's more intuitive women out there than me. And I want to see if they get anything followed with this. So when would I have it'll be too vague when I approximately got this, which is, it was pretty late. As I woke back up, and then I was up late. Or not up, I was up in the morning. So somewhere between, it's not clear. And I think, did I knock the one video down? The one video will be able to tell me around what time. But it would have been about an hour before that, so. Alright, bye. It was yesterday evening when I got this about, I guess you could say Daniel 11 and Psalm 112.